We're live. Chris Denman. I'm going to tell you about our guest here in just a second. Big thanks to Logboat Brewing, Barrel Beard and Tattoo Oil, all of our sponsors. Very special conversation today. Tony Rock in the building at Gaslight. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's like I know you already. I've had Jordan on. I've had Sherrod on.
Yes,
so your
my
first
two favorite
cousin,
people in the world.
Your younger brother was here a couple months ago. We were having some good chat before we actually went on there. But either way, we'll get into that. We'll get into what's happening this weekend at Helium Comedy Club. Thursday night show went well?
Thursday night show went very well. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Small audience, but they were rocking, and I got to play around with them, have some fun. Nice. I actually got like 2 new bits, so I was happy about that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You get to little spark for the weekend.
Yeah. Gets a little nugget that gets me going.
Yeah. So you're based in New York,
yes,
obviously.
Brooklyn, New York. Yes.
Yeah. So hitting the road, I'm curious about that. For you in particular, for Tony Rock, what are your crowds like whenever you're in St. Louis, if you're in Cincinnati, the hot spots?
What do you mean, makeup of the crowd? Or
yeah. Is it a black crowd? Is it a white crowd?
I think I have a nice mix.
I would assume that's what I would assume.
I have a nice mix because I've done things that I've done TV shows for BET and I've done TV shows for CBS, so I get that fan base to come out and see me. So
I think people that draw like you do, that's important because you get people that get so used to a certain type of show.
Right.
And even people that regularly go to comedy shows, they get it and they know when to be quiet and all that stuff.
Right.
But whenever you can kind of bring people from different worlds together,
yes.
I think that's huge. And it's not always something that everybody can do, too, because your comedy has to lend to different proclivities. Right.
I tell a lot of comics all the time, like, especially for some reason, like, black comics, I guess I'm trying to like be PC, but black comics.
I'm okay with you saying black comics.
Younger, up-and-coming black comics think they have to skew black for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And I tell them all the time, like, funny's funny. If you a funny joke, a well-written joke is going to make everybody laugh. Why wouldn't you shoot for everybody instead of just trying to make your boys laugh or the hood laugh? It's like I try to write jokes that the whole world is going to say, hey, man, that was a good joke.
Well, it's working out great. I feel like...
it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Well, it's working. Yeah, I mean, you're in St. Louis. How much more luxurious does it get?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're at Helium this weekend. Last time you were through, and again, I'm just picking apart our pre-show conversation, but Shafitz last time you were here.
I was Shafitz last time I was here, yes.
Good time. The arena show to the club show. I always like kind of giving a little peek behind the curtain to listeners and people that are going to come out and see you. Difference with Helium, just more intimate. You're going to be able to enjoy the crowd more. What's the difference?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Shafitz shows I love. Don't get me wrong. I love walking out on stage and seeing 6,000 people and telling a joke and then having to wait for the wave to go and come back. It's like a different timing.
How's that play to your ego, too?
Oh, yes.
The little stuff I do. I mean, we do some live shows and stuff like that, or I'll bring comics up and, I say my stupid little thing or tell people that Roseanne kicked Ian off of Last Comic Standing.
Well,
you get those little bites of laughter are just so contagious. So I can only imagine what having 6,000 people.
Yeah, the wave is real. Is very it's intoxicating.
Yeah,
and then when I get to do, and then I like to do more intimate settings also because I get to just be kind of hands on with the audience.
Right.
Hey, where you guys from, and what do you do, and is this your girlfriend? And I can do all of that in an intimate setting.
Can I get her number?
Yeah, you can't do that in front of 6,000 people. People in the front, in the back are like, who's he talking to? So it doesn't work.
Well, so last I heard on, I guess it was, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was Fitzdog Radio. You had a videographer with you.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about that, but I was actually curious. What's that for? Are you working on a project? Are you working on a documentary? I mean, you certainly had an interesting life.
I am working on a documentary that I don't have a deal for, so we're just pretty much documenting how dope this is.
Being on the road.
Yeah. So
being in TV, being in everything.
Yeah. So my videographer came when I was shooting. I shot a show called Black Card Revoked to BET. Mm-hmm. He was backstage the entire time shooting everything. When we're on the Mike Epps tour, he shot everything. Some of my tour dates, smaller venues, he's with me, and we just capturing the moment, man. So when I get to do the hour special, we'll have a lot of content and just like splicing at the end.
So you can work in. So that's fantastic.
And we put some of it on YouTube. If you go to Rock the World TV, we have some of it on YouTube. This is just incredible for a comic that's coming up, and they always want to know, is it like I think it is, or is it as much fun as just this is better than you could imagine?
Well, but if we can't see the documentary right away or the clips, obviously you can go to the YouTube account and everything. But is it as good as people assume?
It's better. It's
I
way
would
better.
I would think so too. Yeah.
I was on a flight recently flying to Atlanta. Yes, first class. Yes. And the lady next to me just sat there. I sat down and she just looked at me and I had my shades on and my hoodie.
Right.
And she said, I know who you are. And I'm like, hey, how are you? Good morning. How you doing? And she says, is it as exciting as I think it is? And I said, how exciting do you think it is? And she said, I think it's amazing. I said, it's even better than you think. And she said, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, that's what people want to hear.
It's even better. Yes.
Right. Because they're going to their account management job.
Right.
They hate their boss.
Right.
And they're working for the weekend for a couple beers, but you get to fly to
you at your job, you're staring out of the window, you're daydreaming, you just wish you were somewhere else, and 9 times out of 10, I'm where you wish you were.
Well, you're humble about it.
You're
least,
like,
right?
I'm not saying me. I'm just saying what I do. Like the comic, the comic's life is where you probably are dreaming. You're thinking like, man, if I could just do that.
Your daily routine. You live in New York, and you get to go hang out with some of the other than your family.
Yeah,
some of the biggest stars.
I get to have a beer with Dave Attell every once in a while.
Yeah, right.
Dave Chappelle will walk in and go, "Hey, Tony, I saw you on."
You should ask Dave Attell what happened 2 times ago. He was here. It was one of the first times Helium had opened. Have you heard about this?
No.
He went to a club with a guy from the club from Helium,
right?
And the guy's
a fan.
Well, it was a part of the staff.
Okay, wait, staff.
So they were hanging out. They were cool,
yeah.
and the guy's car got stolen at the strip club they went to. So like, part of me like felt horrible for the guy. Part of me was like, you're at a strip club with Dave Attell, and then you got your car stolen. Like, that's just a really fucking awesome story.
It is an awesome story, but if anything happens to you and you're at a strip club, you kind of...
So your family's close?
Yes.
That's
well,
like,
some of us.
Some of you, yeah. So I always, when I've been in those either, not necessarily even a strip club, just a seedy club, and you walk out and the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
I always think to myself, if I got stabbed in the stomach and just bled out right here... My mom and grandma, my dad and grandpa, the men in the family would, stoically just kind of, we're sad.
Right.
My mom and grandma would say, "Fucking knew it." Always, yep, exactly. That's how we knew he'd go out. And they have all the confidence in the world in me and support me. But it's that guilty. I grew up Catholic, and they're like, "You were always up to something, weren't you?"
If I died in a strip club shootout, my mother probably wouldn't even cry.
Right. She'd be like, "Yeah, saw this one coming."
that was it.
Didn't clean his room.
It was written. Strip club shootout. That's how I'm going to die.
It was going to go down like that. Yeah. How's New York with the lack of strip clubs these days?
No, New York has this weird thing going on where New York is not New York anymore, and I'm not talking about the gentrification.
You grow. I mean, the time you grew up to now, like New York has to be.
Oh, it's totally different.
Way different.
The gangs in Brooklyn now are more like West Side Story than than dangerous gangs.
Feuding fashion groups.
Yeah, when you're a jet, you're a jet all the way.
Correct. Yeah. Except it says jet, it just says what Supreme across their shirts now. Yeah.
But New York's different now, and I'm speaking from like a hip hop, a urban standpoint.
Right.
Now New York is following the trends instead of setting them.
Weird, right?
That's what I noticed that now. Now it's like we're not the leaders of rap music anymore. We're following what everybody else is doing.
Who is?
That'd probably be Atlanta.
I would have guessed.
We're not the leaders in fashion anymore. We're just following what everybody else is wearing.
You're the rich guy who goes to the dive bar to be like, "See, I'm still cool."
Yeah,
like, you're trying
New
to
York's
pick up.
I don't like it. It's like now it's like guys, like the younger kids are like, "We're Bloods, we're Crips." It's like what?
You don't announce that.
That started
buddy.
in L.A. We didn't. That's not us. Well, why are we following them? Like, why are we following? We follow us now. And I don't like it at all.
Have you seen? I feel like maybe it's.
I think our gang should be original.
I agree.
We should be killing on our own merits.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Italians, get back in the game too, man. Like we're losing out on this. No. So I think with camera phones, with things like that, we don't necessarily see as many club fights or anything. You run in some pretty cool circles, some fun circles, I'm sure. Have you been a part of? Have you seen any TMZ-worthy brawls, fights?
I see TMZ-worthy stuff all the time.
And it's got to change, too. I notice it now that I'm I'm just turned 34. Just whenever you would go out, you used to be like, if I got to fight, I'm going to throw somebody through a fucking window. And then now I'm like, tired, probably going to get home by 11, something like that. I wonder, too, just running in the circles you do and then having the celebrity that you do, Do you get to see some of those that we don't know about?
Two parts to your question, two answers to your question.
Yeah.
I grew up in the original Brooklyn.
Yes.
So I'm down for some scrapping if it comes to it.
Sure.
But I'm also, I have this celebrity that you said. So I'm on the road a couple of weeks ago with Dave Hellam. Dave Hellam's one of the features I brought out with me. Nice guy from Chicago, from like the nice part of Chicago.
Right.
We're in a club in Cincinnati somewhere maybe, and it's a group of guys.
Two problems I can already cite with this.
Group
club
of guys
in Cincinnati.
A group of guys in the corner looking, staring. I'm like, okay, this could get out of hand. And
it wasn't like they're fans. It was they're hungry dogs.
They didn't look like fans, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to the local girls, which local guys always hate because they know I'm gonna win.
Right.
And then one of the guys walks past. There's like the little I'll go past and scout. I know it all too well.
You do. You see it coming miles away.
So I turn to Dave Hellam and I say, "Hey man, you ever been in a brawl in a bar?" And Dave Hellam, he gets no. And I said, "Get ready, you're about to be."
That's fantastic.
It's so calm. He just shook him like
stone cold.
I said, "Get ready, we about to throw down with these dudes."
Yeah.
And the guy walks past again, and I'm thinking like, "Here we go," and he says, "Hey man, are you Tony Rock?" And I say, "Yeah." And he goes to his yeah, it is him, to his boys. They all come over, they pull their phones out, and they want pictures.
That's fantastic.
And I look at Dave and I go, almost.
Yeah. They were showing the same signs, right? They were kind of tight. They were kind of doing this one. Yeah.
It's like the lion that walks past the prey and then goes, "Hey, can we get a picture with the gazelle? Come on."
Right.
It's like the difference in the change in the climate.
Yeah, I was going to say, 20 years ago, that would have been a brawl.
Yeah,
right, but now you're at the level you're at.
on a stool, and it would have been
You ever
fun.
taken anything to the dome, bottle or bat or anything?
No, I got stabbed in the hip once.
Good for you. Yeah. How'd that go?
I was winning the fight, and I hit the guy, and he fell and hit a car mirror.
And grabbed it?
Broke it, and then picked up the glass and just right in my hip.
Are you shitting?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's not good.
And then I think Sherrod just jumped on him and pummeled him to sleep.
Good. I'm glad to know that about Sherrod.
No, Sherrod's a brawler. Sherrod
which is funny because he seems pretty sweet, like a nice guy.
Oh, he's a sweet guy.
Rachel Feinstein,
nice
so
guy
like, the goofiest, nicest dude ever. Yeah,
nicest guy in the world, sweetest guy. Give you the shirt off his back, but he will knock a guy out.
That's how you have to be, though, because anybody that goes around like trying to pick fight, they ain't tough. Like,
right.
They're dealing
the bully is.
They're mad that they're short.
The bully is actually the coward.
Correct.
Yes.
See, life lessons here.
Yes, the bully is actually the coward.
Dude, that's fantastic. Okay, so as far as projects that are going for you currently, obviously out on the road, done plenty of TV, movies, different things like that. Anything we need to know about that you're working on outside of this beautiful documentary that...
I had a sitcom on CBS that just got pulled. It was called Living Biblically. It was based on the novel by A.J. Jacobs, The Year of Living Biblically. If you're not familiar with it, A.J. Jacobs wrote a book. He tried to live his life. He tried to live for one calendar year, 100% according to the Bible. Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory read the book, loved it, turned it into a pilot. We shot the pilot. Show got picked up for 13 episodes. We just got 13. We're done. We're not getting renewed for another season. But Johnny and some of the people at CBS took a liking to me. And we've been going back and forth, like trying to figure out what the next thing is. What can we do with Tony? What's the next thing? So,
well, that's a good place to be, too.
Oh,
I'm sure you loved the show, but, I mean, you have to be able to cut bait with those, right? I mean, what you see, half of what makes it to TV, there were, 30 before that didn't go.
Right? I did, I think, 6 pilots before that didn't even see the light of day.
That's insane.
That I thought, well, this is definitely going. It's great. This is a great project. Nothing.
And nothing comes from it. I bet you like working with Johnny, too. He's a Chicago guy,
Great guy.
I think.
Great guy. Yeah.
I met him when I was like a kid hanging out in Chicago one time, and it was in between. It was before Big Bang Theory had kicked off. So he was dude from Roseanne who maybe did a spot on a TV show here and there. And then to have him reignite his career like that, that has to make for an interesting personal makeup, right? Because it's 2 extreme highs with, I'm not going to say super low. I'm sure he was doing fine in between, but there's some humbling that came in between. I bet he's a great dude.
Great guy, great conversation to have. Like Johnny's he's on the ball.
Superior Donuts just got pulled as well. We had
Did it really?
Yeah. Dave Kattan and Jermaine Fowler is in that. All those guys that were super talented. I liked that they gave so many comics jobs, but it's the same thing where it's
Jermaine, Dave, Maz Brony.
Yep, Rel
Battle.
Yeah. But those are all super talented people that you assume are going to get other jobs. But I just find TV to be I don't even know if it's fascinating. Horrifying would be the word.
That's what I want
like,
to do with my next
times,
sitcom.
man.
My next sitcom, if me and Johnny are able to put something together, I just want to stockpile that shit with comics.
Yeah. Well, why not tap into people who are just eager to be entertaining all the time, right? So
I'm sure it would make it so much easier to write a script if everybody was like, hey, Jermaine, what would you say here? What would you say? All right, boom, put it in.
Exactly. As long as it's like a good group of people that's like gets along.
Right.
That could also
Which
be
is
funny.
very hard to find.
Yeah, I was
Which
gonna
is
say,
very extremely difficult to find.
It would be funny too, as you're documenting behind the scenes of that.
Right.
A very dysfunctional group of like if all the people that do Crashing, which there's 750 comics on that show, if they all hated each other.
I haven't been on an episode yet.
That's kind of bullshit.
I'm still mad about that. I'm letting everybody know.
Do you think it's personal?
No, I don't think so.
You got a problem with Pete?
No, I don't have a problem with Pete.
Actually,
Pete was actually
tweet that out.
When we
problem
did
the
when we did the table read for Living Biblically.
Yeah.
Pete was in the room, and the whole time I'm like, oh shit, that's Pete. That's fucking Pete right there. Like, way taller than I thought.
Yeah, he's like 6'5".
Yeah, you gotta let people know that, man. You gotta give a disclaimer. I walk in the room like, holy shit, what?
Right. I thought you were a soft nerd.
Yeah.
And he does that. I'm curious too, since you're
Played
here.
for Gonzaga.
Right? Yeah. He was a fan favorite at Gonzaga, right? He fits the profile with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. As far as I guess recently, and we're doing this, we kind of have a speed thing. I know you got another thing to go to, but Chris Hardwick, do you work with him at all, or have you worked with him?
I have not. No.
I've
seen him at like clubs in LA.
Yeah, so maybe you don't have an opinion on it. I was curious. He just got swept up in, I guess it's filed under Me Too, with an ex. Did you see this? So an ex like spilled a bunch of stuff from their relationship, basically, that made him look like a controlling prick. He's lost, like, they're kicking him off of Talking Dead. And this wasn't about...
What did she... What
she said it was basically he was controlling. He told her when they would have sex and all this stuff. Like, it kind of
invoked... None of my girlfriends are going to come out and say that.
Right.
None of them. I'm not worried about that at all.
It was... It was just a strange thing. And if you're not familiar with it, it doesn't really... It's not that important to get into. But I'm just... it's going to lead me to my question.
I'm scared that a girl's going to come out and say some shit about me like that.
Even... Well...
Can I curse? Wait, am I...
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'm scared a girl's gonna, because I've been drunk in clubs before, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, yo?" You know, I said some rude stuff.
And if I repurpose that,
guise of I'm trying to get some pussy, you know?
Right? Yeah, and that could be filed under he aggressively came.
Right? No, what they call it, sexual aggression. Yo, everything. Let me tell you something. Yeah. Everything a black man does to get some pussy can be filed under sexual aggression. Listen, black guys in the club, we grab girl, sweetheart, grabbing a girl's arm, sexual aggression. Yo, blue dress. Damn, girl, you wearing that dress. Sexual aggression. Uh-huh. That's like the whole fucking definition.
The playbook,
is like, every black guy's like, oh, shit, I'm going to jail. Shorty, damn, look at that. We in trouble.
Out of here.
Right? All of that. So I know I've done some of that. So I just hope they don't wait until it's like, HBO inks Tony Rock for 20 fucking TV shows, and it's like, every girl just starts, he tried to kiss me in the club one night. Which I did. Mm-hmm. I tried to kiss girls in the club that I didn't have consent to kiss.
Sure.
Damn, you saw, girl, you smell good. Like, damn, is that you? You smell delicious. You smell like, oh my good. That's sexual aggression.
Right. And again, too, like, I'm glad that assholes are getting outed on this stuff. But like somebody, again, like you said, what if you do ink that huge HBO project you're doing on?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's why I'm going to be forthcoming with all of it. So before I even sign before I sign this, I'm going to let y'all know, listen, I'm a dick. I've been an asshole, so if I sign this, you guys understand that.
I said in an interview at this weird place in St. Louis. Look, here's
going
the source.
forward, I will not be this way, but
just so we know what we're dealing with.
I might have grabbed the girl's butt in the club.
Right. Yeah. So does that change how you act, how you carry yourself, who you interact with?
No.
Currently, no. Good. I think that's a good sign.
No.
Because you don't need to change up.
I say stuff on stage sometimes, and I'll say. I'll say something to a young lady in the room, and then I'll say, you know what, if I wasn't on stage right now, I'd be in so much trouble for saying that.
Right.
But since I'm up here, I kind of got a little bit of he's a comedian, you know.
Yeah. Oh, so silly.
Yeah.
You have that. So before we get you out of here, curious about growing up. Obviously, the family.
Best childhood ever.
Had to be, right?
The best childhood ever.
I've met your younger brother. You can tell a lot by people's disposition. Your younger brother's smart, pays attention, has a good time. I've mentioned I've talked to Sherrod a bunch. I enjoy talking to Sherrod. I think he's very funny. You're very funny. Obviously, we all know Chris as well, who seems to get along with a lot of people, too. I'm sure he has his beefs, but like just as far from the outside as much as I can, I sit here and I talk to people, I analyze people all the time. Seems like a pretty strong family, or at least a confident family, and that comes from good upbringing. Has to, right?
We grew up on Decatur Street in Brooklyn. Sherrod lived on the first house, the very first. When you turn onto our block, Sherrod house was the very first house. I lived like down in the middle of the block. So Sherrod was at our house every day. Sherrod grew up with 2 sisters, no brothers. I have 7 brothers, 2 sisters.
7?
It was the best, man. We didn't have a lot, so when you don't have a lot, you use the things that are innate.
Right.
So you use your imagination, you use your creativity, you use your camaraderie comes, is a strong thing. You look out for each other. If one person has this and you don't have that, you guys share that. If I have this and you don't have that, we share that. So now we both have the 2 things that we didn't have. We have it, available to us.
Yeah.
You protect each other because we grew up in the hood, so we had to be very protective of each other.
There is something about that too. When I have a younger brother who's like 6'7", so he's giant. But like, there is something about your little brother either maybe being in an altercation or in one.
Right.
You take it to like, there's a whole nother. You don't realize you have that rage until you see that happening. You're like, oh, this is going to be really ugly.
Yeah,
right?
and my dad always told us, if one of y'all are in a fight, y'all are all in a fight. I don't want to hear. Man. He would say, my father would, if one of us got in a fight, he would come home and my mother would tell him the story. He would call us all downstairs and say, okay, what happened? And like, if you were the one in the fight, you tell me the story. And while you're telling the story, he would stop you and go, so what did you do? What did you do?
Right.
And it's like, oh, then I jumped in, and then I jumped in. He's like, okay, good. I don't want to hear you didn't do anything if somebody was trying to beat up your brother.
You got to take care of each other.
Yeah, then it turned into don't fight the Rock brothers because you got to fight all of them.
That's good.
There's too many of them to fight. So then people would leave us alone. And we
coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, that was the best.
I love it, man.
And we would sit on the stoop every Saturday. This is where the comedy comes in. Just a quick.
No, please take as much time.
Saturday mornings, my mother would clean the house. We would have to do our chores before we could go outside. So we would get up early, knock our chores out. We'd be good for the day. Then my mother, she would do dishes and mop and all that stuff. So she would say, "Get out the house so I can clean."
Right.
And we would go sit on the stoop. And we would sit on the stoop of our house on Decatur Street in front of our yard. And we couldn't go out the gate, but we had to do something to entertain ourselves. So it was anybody that walks past, we're going to snap on them. So it would be like, all right, you're up first. And then whoever walks past.
Why didn't you have a documentary crew
boom,
then?
Snap, just whatever. You're big looking like, look at your shoes looking like, and it's the hood, so everybody isn't dressed nice, and people look kind of off, and some people are dirty, and there's crackheads, and we just, comedy. So then it became a thing where every Saturday, all the kids on our block would come to our yard and wait for us to come out. And we would come out like, okay, who's getting it today? And like, Andre, you up first. And like, you're looking like your big hat looks like a damn sack of potatoes, and your mother looks like your father's so fatty. And that's where it started. It was like, we got an audience in our yard.
Thing. Yeah. That's amazing, man. So as you guys have grown up, evolved, had your own individual careers, anything negative that comes from having so many talented people in a family?
Negative, yes. We
getting those texts,
like a little bit of like I would say fake hate. The fake hate, he just got it because of his brother. Chris put them on. Stuff like, but that's negative. It's like
that would be annoying.
It's like right off. We don't even pay it any attention.
Yeah, you can't really too.
We don't pay it.
At the end of the day, too, you're in the profession where
I've been doing stand-up.
Got it or not?
I've been doing stand-up for over 10 years. So if my brother made some phone calls to get me in, I would have been exposed a long time ago.
Too late now, right?
If Jordan was being passed along, he wouldn't be where he is now. He wouldn't be if he was just like, oh, let's put him in. It would have been exposed a long time ago. And you wouldn't have, this is the thing that will let you know the telltale sign. I wouldn't have the respect of my peers like I do.
Correct. You're hanging out with the elite.
They wouldn't say like, man, that guy,
Well, and it's, again, too, you'll see it, too, and I'm not trying to pick on Saturday Night Live, but you'll see people who have been in movies or famous TV shows that come through that can draw a huge crowd, or just they're known for something. Being Chris Rock's younger brother isn't going to sell out a club 4 nights in a row.
Right. And it's not going to, it doesn't guarantee a good show. So it's like, you could say, when I first started going on the road.
You might fool him once.
You know what's crazy? When I first started going out, I'll tell another quick story. So when I first started going out, I was, I don't know how much time we had.
Take your time.
Okay, so I was Tracy Morgan's opening act for a few years. I was Kim Cole's opening act for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I was John Witherspoon's opening act. So we would do shows in like, Bananas in Jersey and like South Jersey, like little comedy clubs where they could, And I remember when I was opening for Kim Cole's, I had a tight 10, 15 minutes, whatever they needed me to do. It was tight. It was strong. So after the show, the young girls that were in the room were like, we want to get a picture with Tony Rock. We want to get a picture with Tony. The other people would wait for Kim. So I'm in the backstage like, oh shit, they want to take pictures with me? Okay. And I would go out, and the comedy club owners kind of saw like, hey, he's getting his own little draw off of their shows, off of Tracy's show, off of Kim's show, off of John Witherspoon. So we'll bring him back to headline. We'll bump him up to headliner and bring him back. But what the bill was June 5th through 8th, Chris Rock's brother, Tony Rock.
Damn.
That was because that was.
And you weren't putting yourself up like
I was
that.
not.
Yeah.
No, hell, never.
No.
But they knew we could get asses in the seats like that.
Right.
And comedy club owners don't really care about the art of stand-up comedy.
Sure.
They don't care about nurturing the craft. They just care about 2-drink minimum and
Keeping
tickets at the door.
on. Yeah.
Right. So I got it. I knew what it was. But then once people started coming out to see me and realized, oh, he's nothing like his brother, has his own voice, he's actually a pretty good comic, it was like comedy clubs were like, you know what, we don't even need to do that. We can just bring him in as Tony Rock. But that's when I started going on the road headlining. It was Chris Rock's brother.
It
was the worst shit ever. Yes.
Expectation.
It was the shittiest fucking poster. I never kept any of them.
I think, man, you need to get a copy of those for the documentary.
Yeah,
I do. Show where you've come from, though.
Yes, I do.
Oh my gosh, Tony Rock at Helium Comedy Club all weekend long, dude. So much fun.
Yes,
thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you very much.
Go see Tony, Helium Comedy Club, STL.com. You can see him all weekend long. Thanks, guys.